So I think now we're live on YouTube, and we can start with introducing ourselves first. So Ricardo, can you start doing that?
Sure. Uh, Hi guys, I'm Ricardo. I live at São Vicente, first city of Brazil. I'm married. I have a daughter. I work on a IT company, telecommunications company, and I love watching movies, hang out with my friends, family. Uh, Walking to the beach because São Vicente is off coast from São Paulo, so I live near from the beach. Sometimes I walk. I should go more frequently, but sometimes I don't know what happened. I don't go. I simply don't go. That's
Okay,
it, guys.
very nice. And hi, Marcos, can you introduce yourself for us?
Morning, I'm Marcos. I'm 47 years old. I live in São Paulo, married, father of two teenage daughters. They are twins. I love
Oh
to
yeah.
spend my free time with my family, traveling, going to parks, being in contact with nature. I love to cook too in my free time. Uh, as Ricardo, I work with technology. I'm actually a project manager.
Okay, very nice having you here too. And how about you, Pedrito? Go ahead.
My name is Pedro Souza. I'm 35 years old, married, and I have a 9-year-old daughter. I live in Santa Maria, Rio Grande do Sul. I'm a DevOps engineer, uh, and in my free time, I like to go outside to enjoy with my family in a park or in a club. And I'm here in Talk Talk since June to improve my English and my speaking.
Very nice. I just realized everybody here that has have children have daughters, right? So except for Luis. Hi, Luis. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm married. I don't have kids. I just have four pets, three cats and four dogs. And currently I'm unemployed, but I usually to work with project management in IT companies. And I'm looking for a position right now. I'm here to improve my English. I live in India for 4 months, so I have some experience outside of the company abroad. And then what else? That's this about me.
Okay, very nice. And now we have one more person here. Alexandre, can you introduce yourself? You're muted. Yes.
Morning, Mel. Hello, everyone.
Good
So I'm
morning.
Alexandre from Victoria. I'm 70 years old. I'm married. I'm retired from work to Brazil. And I'm a little lazy about doing participating classes. But I also study French and Spanish to give my brain some slacks, right? About English. I'm trying to do different things. Okay, that's it.
Nasi, very nice. And one more person, yes.
Yeah.
Etienne, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. My name is Etienne. I am 29 years old. I'm married. I have a dog. I live in Guaíba, in the Rio Grande do Sul. Today, I think it's not don't have sun today here in my city, and it's not cool for me. I need more son. But that's it, I think.
Okay, very nice. I was asking the guys a few minutes ago, just if somebody know about homeschooling. Does somebody don't know what does homeschooling means or heard to talk about? No, okay. Very nice. So guys, since we have more people here, we have 7 people, I'm going to split the rooms so everybody can have more time to talk. And that's it. One moment until I can create the rooms and we can start the conversation. Just telling some things about the platform. Talking Talk is a platform where we can practice English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Mandarin. In the future, we'll be able to practice other languages too. And here's a safe place to make mistakes. We are not here to judge anybody. We are here to learn. I'm not a teacher, so I'm not going to teach you anything, but everybody's going to learn a lot from each other's point of views, experiences, and that's it. Just to remember you guys, this is a conversation 100% in English. Of course, we can say some words in Portuguese if that's necessary, but it's mainly in English, okay? So I'm creating the rooms. 1 minute, guys, and we can start the conversation. So here, all right. I think here's a great point. So yeah, if you receive an invitation, please accept. In a few minutes before the end of the conversation, I'll call everybody back so we can finish the conversation all together, okay? And please be respectful in the other room. I know we will. So guys, let's just wait until the guys can go. All right, that's it. So talking about the first question, Alexandre, can you read it and answer?
Okay. Do you know what homeschooling means? Explain what you know about it. So, homeschooling is when you teach your children at home, not send them to school. I don't agree in this method in Brazil, right? Even in America use this kind of home school, but a little amount of people homeschool their children, right? And I think the children need to socialize. They need to go to school to learn more about not only schedule, but respect, relationship. And so in Brazil, I don't think it's possible to homeschool children. Like the extreme right was thinking to do about last government.
I see. And just before we continue, I want to say hi to Janemis. Hi, Janemis. How are you today? Can you introduce yourself?
Guys, I'm James. I'm a software engineer. I I started on Talk and Talk in 2012, 2022. I live in Paraíba. I married. I have 3 kids, and that's it.
I see. I just want to know, do you know what homeschooling means?
Yeah, I know homeschooling. It's for education for their childrens in your house, and this education is mandatory for for patterns, pelos pais.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you spend a lot of time in your day for education your children, and they study more for education, educated more better.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to move you to the other room. There's another room where people are already talking about the theme. And because there are many people here, okay? But the same thing, at the end of the conversation, 10 minutes before the end, I'll call everybody back and we can finish the conversation, okay? So if you received an invitation, please accept and see you. All right, guys. So let's just wait until he can go. Pedrito, what do you think about the first one?
Yes, about the homeschooling, I think teach at home needs for Brazilian people and for people I know, I think is not able uh, just these people because they both couple works and is not too able to stay at home with the kids to teach them. But uh, in some case, for example, I know someone if the woman I think yes stay at home with the kids. She have three kids, and she wants in before uh, a year before the pandemic, 2018, I think. She wants to teach their kids, and it's not was not possible. In I think she is living in Santa Catarina, Florianópolis, and the the government not allow to do this, and she complains and in the internet and with the government, but she can't do it.
Nassim. And what's your point of view on this, Marcus? Do you agree with the guys?
Yes, I do. All I know about homeschooling is the same as Alexandre and Pedrito said. It's not allowed in Brazil, but it's an interesting choice, especially in North America. So why I think it's interesting, that's because it allows the parents to take the responsibility about schooling their children, and it gives more freedom for families. I don't remember the name, but there was a famous TV series 5 or 10 years ago. There was a family of Brazilians. The guy, if I'm not wrong, was a surfer, and he and his wife used to travel around the world. And they had a child, a little girl, and she was born in the United States. And this allowed them to adopt homeschooling and keep the that that way of living. Um, the, After that, I will look for the right series title, and that is the best example of how a family can use homeschooling for getting better together.
See, and did you consider that for your children? Because you are a father, so did you consider that?
Um, taking in mind my way of life, no, I don't consider it. I'm we have a very stable place to live. We don't move frequently. And I think that kids need the socialization. And homeschooling prevents or makes harder to kids to socialize. And I think it's important. Okay, social media plays an interesting role in socialization, actually, but I think they need to get in touch with other children.
And Alexandre, did you consider with your children doing that? Or no?
So I don't have children this age anymore. In the time they were in school, I didn't think about that, right? But as Marcos said, it's not allowed in Brazil, and I could send them to school to pay private school for them, to pay transport for them. So I was working a bank all day. My ex-wife was working in another banking, so it was hard to consider homeschooling them.
I see. And about the second question, do you believe that this teaching method is better than the way children are taught nowadays in Brazil? Alexandre? I don't know if he's frozen.
No, I think it's not better. I think it's the one way to teach them. If you don't can send them to school, because maybe you live in a farm and there is no school there. It's happened to me when I was a child in the farm. There was no school. It's possible for them to teach their children, but in a city, I think it's better to send them to school to socialize.
I see. And what's your opinion on this, Pedrito? Do you agree with Alexandre?
Yes, because as Mark said before too, the kids needs socialize with other kids in their ages, and it's so important to play, to run, to get kids stuff, and if then it's at home, it's not possible, or it's too hard to do it. And as I said too, the both parents work it is difficult more to get the homeschooling, and I think it's important so to uh, about not just socialize, but about the disease, the children can get some infections or some other disease in this age, and to get immunity in their bodies in this age is important too, I think.
I see. And did you consider it for your daughter or not?
For now, not because we both work and all day, and it's not possible now. I think it's more important to her to go to school, and we practice some subjects with her, like math or other subjects to improve the knowledge.
Yeah, and what do you think of this, Marcos? It doesn't mean like because you didn't adopt that with your child. What do you think? Even though that's is it better?
Uh, no, it's hard to to judge which one is better. That's because uh, I don't know just one option. I'm used to just one option. But I think, as I said before, that going to school is important to kids. It's an integral part of their aging, if I can say this.
Nassim. Well, I can say I think I kind of know a little bit of this topic, and I'd say I would consider it better, even though it's not. I know the lack of the communication and interaction with other children. It's so important too, but I think there are other ways to do that too. So it's not only at school that children can get this contact from. So I'd say, especially when the parents have this possibility to do that, and they maybe it's a necessity because they travel a lot, for example, or their work possi- have the possibility to have this time to teach their children. I think it's better because the parents, as we were saying, can really know what is happening with their children and can know the way the information is getting into the child, not only leaving them at school. And okay, I presume, I don't know if that's the word, my child is learning something, but what if there are other children bullying them? I don't know, maybe they are hiding something from me, something bad. Not, I know it's normal, the things, but what if there's somebody doing bad things to them and they are just afraid to tell me? I feel like this can prevent that. And yeah, I think that's it. Maybe the parents are more sure of what is happening with their children and not just letting it be with the school. That, especially in São Paulo, I see here, it's crazy. I've always been on when I was at school, especially on public schools. So it's always been a mess talking about this, and I can say that. But that's what I think. And about the number 4, Pedrito, can you read it and answer? We'll skip one question.
Okay. Do you believe that the majority of Brazilian families are ready and open to practice homeschooling? I think not, because, as I said, as the all couples I know, I think now both working, and the salary, I think uh, is a barrier to do this, like to contract a teacher for doing homeschooling with their children. Uh, and for this, they need to send their children to school to allow to work, to be possible to work. And I think is this, because of this, the majority, uh, yeah, the majority things because of this.
Let's see. I do believe that the majority of Brazilian families are not ready for that. And I don't really know how that will be in the future. But I see that more people with the time and technology, people can connect and interact more about it. People are getting stronger about it. They are talking more about it. There are movements that says about it, that has it as the main point. And I'd say it's great, because why is that not allowed? If the children, if the child is getting all the information, if they are maybe more comfortable because they are at home, they have this possibility, they don't have to walk, they don't have to get the bus to go to school, anything like that. So I see that as a benefit. Of course, having this structure to do that, I'd say that's the one of the best options, because if the child has other methods to get the contact with other children, I don't see any problem talking about this. But let me see if I can change your mind maybe here. And what do you think of this, Alexandre?
So I guess the large amount of people in Brazil are not prepared for that. They need to work, maybe working more than 8 hours a day. The man and the woman working out, and and then another hand, the lack of education for not what for children but for parents as well, because they were not prepared to homeschool their children. So this in this kind is in this way, I think going to school is better to them face the world. I was thinking say about there was you were say about bullying or children facing hard situation in school or in the bus or going to school or back. Uh, my thought is that you need to create your children for the world, not for you, right? You need to prepare them to face the world like I create my children. They are not afraid to go to everywhere, right? Alone. And because I say to them, you need to face hard situation and overcome this. Because the world is hard to live in if you don't know how to handle situation outside the house. So I guess it could be in a farm, but in a city, you still have opportunity to put your children in school to get socializing, to know another behaviors, and you'll be free to do other things, to work, to save more money. I guess it's the better way.
I see. And what do you think of this, Marcus?
As Alexandre said, most Brazilian families, most parents are low educated. Unfortunately, that is an structural issue in Brazil. So I think this lack of better education prevents families to be ready to adopt homeschooling. Even they wanna, I think they are not ready to adopt homeschooling.
I see. And about the number 6, if you can you read it and answer, actually?
If you could choose, which of the two options would you choose for your life? What about for your children's lives?
Having in
For
mind
me,
that you are able to do that, like you have a
yes.
work that possibilities you to do that.
For me as an adult, I would choose with no doubt homeschooling. That's the way I've been educating myself for the last 8 or 10 years. Only through online options. But I don't know if I'm ready and open to adopt this style for my children. And probably I am the problem. I am not ready to support them to find another ways to get this touch with other kids that school would give them more easily. As you said before, Mel, there are other options. Of course, there are, but I'm not sure I'm prepared to support them. So I think that for me it's okay. I'm an adult. I'm prepared for that. I had uh, enough traditional schooling in my life, but I don't see myself as a father prepared to open these options at this moment to my daughters.
I see, that's a great point that you said. And how about you, Pedrito?
Let me see if I I can live as a nomad person, like in a uh, at a motorhome, for example, traveling with the country. Uh, I think I can I could choose this kind of teaching for my kids if they're then having this age, or maybe in a few years as a retired, if I have a kid in this age, maybe, but not for now. I can I just option I just put in the school because all benefits, as I said, and as everyone said, um, it's the children needs this kind of connections, different connections, and then create that uh, with the teachers. Like my wife is a kindergarten teacher, and my daughter with her have some behavior and have a different behavior with their teachers in their school. It's common to see that, and is normal, and their kind of connections I think is important in their ages.
I see. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's related to what Alexandre said. And now, not now, just now, but it's another point. Having this contact with teachers, other teachers, and I'm not saying because in the homeschooling there can be private teachers. I don't know, professores particulares too. It's related. It's in global the homeschooling, but I see the importance that you are talking about, and I see that having this preoccupation of preparing them for difficulties too, as Alexandre said, and I see it's another point. And how's that for you, Alexandre? What can you say?
It wasn't open for me when I was a kid. Uh, my parents were illiterate analphabet, right? Totally literate. And in my area, there wasn't school to go. I even didn't know that I could go to school to learn something. But if I had had the opportunity to be homeschooled or homeschool myself, uh, I probably 100% could do it because when I went to school for the first time, my mind kind of opened, right? And then I understand that I could uh, learn other things, go do other things, raise in my life. But in my area, it wasn't possible for all the family was so poor and analphabet, right? Until 15 years old, I was totally analphabet, right? So in when I was 15, a teacher appears in the farm and make a small school, and I went there. When my father realized that I was learning much than he was expecting, he take me out of the school because I was applying him to go to school, to go to a city, and then I need to fight to him to give me authorization to go away. But for him, I would stay there until now, right? So I guess I was homeschooling about education, about respect, about choice, but not about Portuguese, much or other subject.
Nasty. That's interesting what you said. I know before people didn't have this opportunity, but looking now, we have this, or at least we can try to have this. So it's interesting at least to think more about it, right? And let me see, Pedrito, about the question number 7. Can you read it and answer?
Let me see. Do you think that the distance learning process practiced during the corona pandemic has brought us closer to this new reality? Maybe for some people, I think. Here in my home, my daughter can learn to read and write in their first year at school at home in the pandemic year with remote classes like us doing something like me now for a postgraduate. But for the parents to teaching, I think can be close to can to allow this and like uh, my friend as I said he was be able to do that 1 year before the pandemic and I think this he she can uh, practice this and realize if the this was good or not to their children.
Nothing. If I could choose, just talking about the other one, I would choose to be homeschooled too, like for all, I don't know if all of the years, because thinking about what Alexandre said, maybe that could be great having this experience too and the regular methods of studying. But even if that was complete, that would be something that I would choose, basically. And thinking now about the corona pandemic and how it affected, I'd say totally, because people, the children were studying at school, just couldn't go to school anymore. And you guys being parents with children now, you can say better, maybe. But having these, okay, now I have my children here, my child here. So what do I do now? So, and it took, if I'm not wrong, it took some time until the school and the government have some actions about it until they disponibilize some content online. And also I'd say that brought us closer to us, and for the people that had this reality already, for them I think that didn't change and much, because of course the pandemic process, it brought many difficulties in general. But talking specifically about this, about studying at home, working from home, that just didn't change it. They would just in advantage, I don't know, talking about this, because they were already ready for that, let's say. And how do you see it, Marcos?
I'd like to say something about the homeschooling and this process of practicing at home. If you watch The Crown, did you watch The Crown? The Crown is a city from the royal family in England, right? So some parts of the city, Queen Elizabeth will complain about homeschooling because she was schooled by a tutor. A man was going to the palace to teach her. She was young, 20, 18, 17, 15. Suddenly, when she was 24, she had to go to be queen, right? Because her father died. And she didn't know how to face the lot of people like a prime minister, president, queens of other country. So she said, "Oh, why you don't send me to school? Now I'm facing a terrible situation." And then she talked to her husband to send the children to school. How the children went to school, right? In the school there, it was very hard. It's not sopinha no mel. It was very hard. But she should choose to not to do as their father did in the past. And now the King Charles, he can face a lot of situation out the policy because he went to school, he faced difficult situation. So that's why I think school is not only for you learn math, Portuguese, or geography. It's the place to you to learn how to embrace the world, to face hard situation, and they overcome this.
Yeah, I see your point, and I think that maybe it's, I don't think actually this is related, because that's what we were talking about, being ready for that, to support it, and to give, even though they don't have this contact with other children, other people at school, but they need to have that in any other way. That's what I think, and
Yeah.
that's what I, in this case, think that was missing there. They would just, this girl would just study at the palace and all, but she wouldn't have this contact in any other way. That's the main problem, let's say, not the homeschooling process itself, but I see your point. And what do you think
I
of this,
think
Marcos? Oh, go ahead.
oh, I just compliment. I think just one tutor maybe can shape the kid's mind as his mind, and maybe this can works if in a community like me can teach math. The the mom of your colleague teaches history, and other teach physicists, and have been a rotate of the children in other teachers, other tutors. I think this maybe works better.
Yeah, that's an option too. Having these options of not only one teacher, because only one teacher know about every subject. I don't even know if that's possible, but having at least three, like this variety is great too.
Yes.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay. For the guys that come back now, we are talking about the question number 7, and how can pandemic affected this reality? As a parent of 2 kids, my kids were at the second year of the basic school at that time, and it was very traumatic for them and for the teachers. The as a technology professional, I was used to work remotely at that time, so I had the opportunity to develop abilities to facilitate meetings, facilitate conversations, to keep people together during my work. But the teachers and the schools had not the same time, the same opportunities to develop these skills. So in the prior months of this online schooling, it was traumatic for kids, for teachers. I talked to some of my children's teachers, and they felt very anxious because they had no way to to manage that class. How could they get 20, 25 kids concentrated when there was just room for one to talk? When they are at the same physical space, they can handle this better. But online, they can't. And in this, and how they could not develop the necessary ability to deal with the situation, sometimes I observed that my children waited for almost 1 hour to give their answer to that question. How can you keep a kid connected, fully concentrated in a topic if he can talk for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour? So I think the pandemic, for one side, gives us the opportunity to think about this option, but the way it happened probably were more traumatic than helpful.
I see. You brought a great point. Like this fast process that happened that caused many people, especially for the younger ones that didn't have this this mindset of accepting it. And yeah, that's a point that you said, really interesting actually. And I want to say, guys, for the other guys from the other room, can somebody tell me how was it, the conversation? Luis, Etienne, Ricardo? Nobody.
It was interesting. It was a very difficult to discuss because we don't think at the same. I believe that homeschooling is not good. I don't have kids, so it's not easy for me to explain, but I take for myself. I'm a self-studying guy. I prefer to study by myself, but I don't think have children in homeschooling is good enough. There are so many problems. There are so many cons. Children should have social interaction, and they need to develop the social interaction. So in homeschool, it's impossible. Here in São Paulo, they are trying to create more integral schools or civil-military schools, which I believe it's a better option than homeschooling. It's traumatic for the kids homeschooling because the fathers doesn't have knowledge enough to teach their children several disciplines. So I don't think it's a better option.
I see. It's a process, and we were saying here in the main room about the possibility of having these private teachers or tutors, and I know there are some difficulties, and it's normal in every way of teaching, but I see your point. And I want to ask Ricardo, what did you learn today? I don't know if there will be time enough to ask everybody, but I'm trying to. Go
I
ahead,
was
Ricardo.
I was talking, but I forgot that when come back to the breakout room, to main room, normally the mic is became muted. Well, I believe that is homeschooling is an option for so specific situations. No? Sometimes a kid have a special needs, or I don't know. Sometimes a kid live at a farm and so far away from a school. So so specific conditions. So in this case, don't have much discussion about it because it's a it's not exactly a reality in our society. So for example, I don't know any person, any kid on this situation, and so it's a big challenge, because, for example, when we talk about the pandemic times, the kids became on at home. It's so hard to lead because on the classroom there are some distractions. So in house is worse. So there are much more distractions. So in this case, in there are another situation, because the human interaction is a kind of ability is necessary to practice. So in this case, if is a people restrict to homeschooling, I believe it's hard to develop this ability. So in this case, I it sounded like in the future, probably in the future, softwares, gadgets, robots, all of them control and they do everything. So in this case, the word is indicating a direction where the human interactions became so much more important, because it's the only thing that you have to do in the future. So this case is important to develop this ability using regular schools and the do other activities like theater and the other stuff, speech and the others that's possible to develop this ability. That's it.
Nasi, interesting your point of view. And how about you, Etienne? What did you learn today?
I think I agree with you should Luis and Ricardo. I don't believe homeschooling is a very um it's very good for for the children's because I think parents don't have more don't have attention paciência and time to teaching a kid, I think. And homeschooling uh, make the kids don't have opportunity to learn with other kids or learn about other situations and of a society, I think. And about the question 7, vocês estavam falando, eu vou falar em português, tá? Eu acho que o meu irmão fez o ensino médio na época da pandemia e eu acredito que ele não aprendeu quase nada do ensino médio, porque realmente fez muita falta a questão de estar em sala de aula, de estar aprendendo com o professor. Por quê? Porque a maioria dos trabalhos que ele fez, ele só deu um Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V e enviou para o professor. Então, ele não absorveu o conteúdo como a escola, de certa forma, ajuda a absorver, entendeu? Então, essa coisa de... Ai, meu Deus, a gente não tem tempo. Mas essa coisa de hoje em dia, a criança não tem muita paciência, né? De pegar e ficar lendo, escrevendo. Hoje é tudo a consumo rápido, então não sei se é uma boa ideia homeschooling. E depende também da questão dos pais, né? Se são bons
Yeah,
ou não. Eu acho que é isso aí.
I see your points, everyone's points here. If you guys want to see how the conversation was here, you guys can just watch on YouTube for the guys from the other room. But I wish we had more time to talk more about it. It's a great topic that I thought that would be good having it here for us to have other discussion about it. Maybe I can do a part 2 if you guys want. So, but just thank you very much for being here today. I just sent the survey link on the chat, so if you guys can, please just leave a comment telling how the conversation was for you, if you liked it, and if you have any other suggestions about what I can do better, or about different themes, different topics that you guys want to talk about, just right there. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again anytime.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Guys,
Have a
thank you.
wonderful
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.